We now tell the tale of an extraordinary man called James Simpson, a man who revolutionized surgery. We start off with James being born on the 7th of June 1811 in Scotland, son to a poor baker who only had enough money to send one child to school. And as James was showing such potential, he was the chosen one. James was only 14 when entering the prestigious Edinburgh University, then came out at 21 years old with a medical degree. He later became professor of midwifery at the university, proving to himself and to his father he was the right choice. During this time, surgery was very unpleasant. Most went into surgery with no anesthetics whatsoever. Some were lucky enough to have alcohol to drown the pain. However, most died from serious agony and never lived to tell the tale. But now we need to change location and travel to the USA, as doctors have made a major discovery. It's the one and only ether, most known as laughing gas, which was used successfully in surgery. These were the first steps into revolutionizing surgery, and quite a genius man called Robert brought this to London in 1847. Unfortunately, ether was a very dangerous chemical for the patient. It irritated the lungs, caught fire, and had a vile smell. Simpson saw this and knew there was something better. He saw firsthand how terrible pain could be in childbirth. In the early 19th century, he was testing chemicals and found that chloroform was successful. He knew this as he woke up the next morning, realizing he was knocked unconscious by this chemical. In the late 1847, him and his doctor friends were testing chloroform and the different doses on each other until they were successful in finding the right doses that made them unconscious. Simpson later used chloroform to help women in labor, but in no time it was used in surgery as well. Unsurprisingly, there were many objections, and for many geniuses this does occur. Many people at the time had little understanding of this chemical. Religious people felt that pain, particularly in childbirth, had been sent by God and should not be tampered with. And in those times, disobeying God was an enormous sin. Also, it was very difficult to get doses correct. Hannah Greener came to have surgery to have a toenail removed, but unfortunately, due to incorrect dose, she died. And this was very common as many doctors had to guess the right dose. Ironically, many patients died of infection and blood loss, as surgery was longer. This was called the Black Period in surgery, a 20-year period where the death rate in surgery raised, but it wasn't the fault of Simpson and chloroform. Nevertheless, we cannot forget about extraordinaire John Snow in the 1850s creating an inhaler to regulate doses. Chloroform became very popular as Queen Victoria used it in the birth of her 8th child in 1853. Surgery in the 21st century became incredibly complex, which included life-changing surgeries such as brain. This was due to the discovery in chloroform, encouraging people to search for even better antiseptics and anesthetics. Which leads us to the end of our tale. A man who brought innovative change, which paved the way of what surgery has become today.